Sagittarius, welcome to your reading for the month of April. So we're going to get straight to it. We've got plenty to get through. The reason I'm doing the monthly ones is the channel's not been going very long, and it's been nice to see people getting involved and the views that are coming through. So this is a general reading for April. It can't cover off all Sagittarians, unfortunately, as much as I'd like it to. But I think it'll give you a nice overview, and then obviously we'll do the weekly ones every Sunday, which will give you a read for the week. So let's jump into April and see what this coming Friday is going to bring, April 2022. So first up we have the Six of Pentacles. That's that inequality and balance. Great card, this one, because you've got three bright and shiny coins at the top. You've got the scepter, which is authority and power, and a tome or a book of knowledge. But there's three other coins down there that are just being ignored, and they're not benefiting. So it really is, there's an imbalance to the month already. So let's see how we can get around that. Four of Swords, probably one of the better sword cards, this one, and it's just about a time of rest and recuperation, solace. Also in a more traditional deck, there is an image in the background of someone receiving a blessing. So it could be that, yeah, even though there's an imbalance, there is a blessing coming through as well. That sounds quite interesting. Near past the end of something, 10 of Swords, there's normally a person lying on the ground with 10 swords in the back. I mean, it's complete and utter overkill. What this card does say in a more positive sense is there's always a new dawn. You know, everything in the tarot is cyclical. You're having a bad day, it's a bad day, not a bad week, not a bad year, not a bad month. So these things cycle out. So I'd expect to see, you know, a new dawn coming through. And then in the near future, you've got the Five of Pentacles. And again, in a more traditional deck, this is two beggars walking past a church or a stained glass window. And it's saying there's sorrow, there's loss, there's suffering. But the important thing is it's only temporary. So in the near future, there is some hardship involved, but the primary point of that is it's only temporary like this. You know, there was a bad day, then it was over, a new dawn rises, new start is how we approach every day. Fantastic. So on the root of the matter, you've got the High Priestess. Isn't that just a gorgeous card? Can't get over how good this deck is. She sat on a crescent moon. She's got a dowsing pendulum because she wants to find out about all the kind of subconscious and hidden meanings in the world. She's got a key around her neck to unlock those possibilities. And it's a very quiet card. It's a very still card. And it's just take the time to kind of tune the radio a little bit to your frequency. So you're really in tune with how you're feeling and how you're thinking. You know, if it was a relationship, you want to take your feelings into consideration. I mean, the background on this is a topographic map of the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest place on Earth. And for many, many years, it's only very recently we've been able to go lower and lower and lower because the pressures are so intense under there. And of course, when we get down to the bottom of it, there's creatures living there that no one's ever seen before, and no one ever expected to see. So I think for all that we know, there's so much that we don't know. So again, I would use this card this month as your foundation to kind of get your mind in the right place. So whatever the month throws at you, you're just able to, like I say, tune that dial to your inner frequency, your inner hopes, passions, whatever. You know, let's see where we get to. The head of the matter, the sort of clarity, the thing you do understand is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is the nostalgia card. It's normally two children with passing flowers to each other. And this one's got, you Americans call it candies, we call them sweets. So it's full of sweets, and while they're delicious, they're not nourishment, they won't satisfy. So while it's great to sort of think of the past and go, oh, wasn't it great when this happened? That's not the situation now. So it's nice to look at briefly and go, yeah, that was great, but what's real, what's happening now? So I think while there are some blessings coming through, it looks like it's, for some reason, coming forwards, it's a bit sour, but you've got the ability right here in that High Priestess, you know, that sort of subconscious. It's really powerful, the subconscious, you know, when you can just tune into something. And I call it my spidey sense, you know, when you just go, tonight's not going to be a good night. And you could argue that, well, if you think that way, it's going to be bad. And I don't mean that. I don't mean going out with a bad attitude and then it coming true. But just that sort of little tingle where you go, something not quite right about this job, this person, this situation, this conversation, you know. And maybe 6 months later you go, yeah, it didn't work out, did it? Okay, so with outcome, we've got the Two of Swords, a card of kind of stagnation. And in this particular card, the two swords rubbing against each other and just wearing each other away. And they're ignoring the letter. They're like, okay, there's some news on there that you need to deal with, but you're too busy sort of the friction just rubbing against itself. And it's sort of, again, in a more traditional read, there's a woman with her arms crossed holding two swords, and she's blindfolded and she can't see what's behind her, she can't see what's ahead of her. It's kind of a crossroads card. I've always been a bit, just take the blindfold off and put the swords down. If you're at a crossroads, you need to go left or right so that the universe can go, wrong way, go back. Or he goes, well done. You know, whereas if you sat at a crossroads, it's just going, well, you're going left or right, you're going straight on, you're going to go back. What are you going to do? You know, so not moving isn't a choice. So you need to do something. And of course, when you do something, this is the position of how others see the situation. Freedom, celebration, the solidity of the four, foundational again. So you've got this foundation here and this foundation here. So I think your little bit rose-coloured glasses looking at the past, saying it's a really bad situation, and I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. Something clearly ended, that's fine, or is ending in April. Then we're down to the 4 here. And then in the Hopes and Fears card, you're going to find Temperance. I mean, it's one of those cards. It is what the word says. It's the yin and yang. It's the balance between starvation and gluttony. It's about being too full on or not being involved enough. It's finding the balance between the flowers and the swords. You know, between peace and war, between being there and not being there. So your hopes and fears are, you know, I think you need to, using your inner compass to find the balance in this month. And then you end up with the Knight of Wands. In this deck, all the pages and knights are female. What's significant about this particular knight is she doesn't have a sword. She just has a shield. So she kind of bashes her way into the situation in a really positive way. It's not negative. And it's someone who is, you know, courageous and determined. So it's a great way to find yourself at the end of all this. And I think it's just a reminder, you know, look at this female energy going through here. You've got the High Priestess down to Temperance, and then ending up with the fantastic Knight of Wands. I think this is going to be, it's going to be a tricky month, but I don't think it's an insurmountable month. I think you've got to just be careful of this card here, that you don't, what's the word? You don't let it overtake the situation. It's just one card out of 10. It's 1/10 of the situation. And then the theme on the bottom of the deck, the Hierophant. The great thing about the Hierophant is on top of his staff, he's got a beehive, and basically it's about the greater good. You know, it's about calling on other people to support you this month as well. You know, we're not on our own. It's, you're not going to see that, are you? We're not on our own, so let's put that one there. Oh, that might be better. There we go. Let's put that there for us. So yeah, you're not on your own this month. I think there is a lot of, what would I say, using your intuition and really digging deep into your subconscious and going, is this the right thing to do? Yeah, there are some blessings coming through, and there's an imbalance. You know, with the imbalance, that could be either side. It could be you that's suffering, or it could be someone else that's suffering. And for the greater good, we all need to, you know, In a job, I would say it's a situation where why are you working till midnight when 4 of you could have decided to help out, and you could all have finished at 7 o'clock. So it's that sort of thing. Don't get bogged down with this baggage. You know, some really powerful energy here, here, and here, and here. So yeah, don't get locked down in the past. This is quite a stagnant row, I think, and I think that leads to this, which leads to this. So you need to snap out of it here to stop it going to here. If it does go to here, you need to go. You'll end up here, and you don't want to end up here. You want to get rid of that. Let's just have a quick look and see if there's anything else in there we can clarify. Yeah, so clarifying that card, we get the Queen of Pentacles. And one of the nice things about this card is, you know, she's got 2 predators there. I mean, the snake would normally eat the bird, or if the bird was a hawk, it would eat the snake. And it's a safe space. You know, she welcomes all. So I think sometimes we worry about the content of the letter. I don't want to open it. It could be bad news. You're just going to have to deal with it. And when you do deal with it, you'll find that everyone's able to support you and give you that safe space. So you've got the Hierophant reminding you that you're not on your own. Yeah, you've got all the positive energy you need. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these cards, and the blessing. So half of this read is positive. Yeah, the other half of the read is a little bit stagnant. But when you do make that decision, you end up in a safe place. Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting read, Sagittarius. I'm not, you know, it's not without its sort of heavy energy, but I think the more powerful energy is just going to blow it out of the water. Really interested to see how April pans out for you, and I'll do a weekly read for the first week of April, and that'll go out on Sunday. In the meantime, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you for the next one.